Hey guys, John V here from PhoneArena. Right now you're watching our video review of the Samsung Galaxy Exhibit. Now if you're not about the bells and whistles, you just want a device that's going to get you by, this might seem like they're an ideal device for you. So we're going to find out in this review whether or not this entry-level smartphone can actually make the grade. Considering that the Samsung Galaxy Exhibit is a basic entry-level model, there isn't much love to its design. You kind of feel that as soon as you hold the device. It feels rather cheap in the hand, but the nice thing about it is that it's very lightweight, compact, so it doesn't seem too bulky or whatnot. We definitely like the soft touch finish of the rear casing, gives it a nice clean appearance, but overall you can tell that the design is pretty much bland by today's standards. Just looking at it instantly, we could tell that the handset has a poor quality display. It's a 3.8-inch WVGA LCD panel, so that's 480 by 800 pixels, which in this day and age is pretty much fitting for any entry-level handset. And obviously it's lacking in the details department. When you're in zoomed out view in a web browser, you can barely make out the fine text. You gotta do a lot of pinch zooming. But the other qualities that make it a really inferior display is that it has some very poor viewing angles, some bland color reproduction, so it's not the best in terms of outdoor usage. Just like Samsung's existing line of handsets, it features a physical home button which is surrounded by the capacitive menu and back keys. Above the display you have the earpiece, the front-facing VGA camera, and also a proximity sensor. It's worth noting that the handset lacks a light sensor, so that means you have to manually adjust the brightness setting. Taking a peek around the handset's trim, we find its dedicated power button on its right edge, volume control and the microSD card slot on its left edge, 3.5mm headset jack on its top side, and finally the standard microphone and the micro USB port for charging and data connectivity on its bottom edge. Flip it over to the rear, you have a 5-megapixel autofocus camera which features 720p video recording. You have also the LED flash, and nearby you have 2 notches for its internal speaker. Prying off its rear casing, we actually gain access to its 1500 milliamp hour battery, which isn't saying much, and you also have the full-size SIM slot as well. So here with the Samsung Galaxy Exhibit, we're treated to the Samsung TouchWiz user interface. So it's very distinct, very familiar if you've used the Galaxy S4, but unfortunately it's only running Android 4.1.2 Jelly Bean, so not the most up-to-date version of the platform. Regardless of that, you still have all the personalization aspects that you expect out of Android, but doesn't have all the enhancements that you find with the Galaxy S4. Holy smokes, this is probably one of the laggiest Android devices we've checked out in recent memory. It's powered by 1 GHz processor, dual-core processor with 1 GB RAM, and honestly, it's not the most responsive thing. We just notice a lot of delays and even choppiness with its overall operation, and even basic tasks. It kind of strains to actually execute some of them, and for more intensive ones, you could pretty much forget about it. It's very choppy, unfortunately. When you combine its small size display with its choppy processing performance, it doesn't make for the best or most ideal typing experience. And honestly, we do notice that with its cramped layout, and on top of that, its unresponsiveness. Sure, it's able to load up complex web pages relatively quickly with its data connection, but don't hold your breath with its performance. At times, we just notice just some slowdown, choppiness, and on top of that, you just have just a poor quality display, especially at WVGA. It kind of shows its age in the way that it doesn't really give you the best details. Of course, being a Samsung TouchWiz device, we're going to the TouchWiz Music Player, which is pretty much conventional with this presentation, but as an alternative, you have the Google Play Music application. But as far as the audio quality, we gotta say it's effective enough, it's strong, it's more than sufficient, but it's not really the strongest thing out there. Sure, it could play 720p videos with not that much problems, but it lacks support for different video codecs such as DivX and XVID out of the box. The one we have here is an MPEG-4, and it's running smoothly for the most part, but seeing that it's a low quality display, you can tell the viewing angles aren't that great. It doesn't really make for the best experience. When you're an entry-level handset, you really can't expect much out of the photo quality from a camera, and that's what we find here with the 5-megapixel one on the Samsung Galaxy Exhibit. Just because image as a whole, it's kind of lacking with detail, and even lower lighting conditions, it's super grainy, so it's fairly indistinct, and the colors are rather bland, so it doesn't really make for the best photos. Even though the Samsung Galaxy Exhibit is only packing a 1500 milliamp hour battery, which isn't saying much as a whole, we're quite happy with the battery life. In fact, with light usage, we're able to get close to 2 days of normal usage out of it. Sadly, the Samsung Galaxy Exhibit doesn't really live up to the legacy of its predecessors. Even though it's an entry-level handset priced at $20 for the down payment and then $9 each month for the next 2 years, it seems like an affordable option. But honestly, the biggest distracting part about the handset is just that it's super slow by today's standards. We expect so much for even an entry-level Android handset, and this doesn't really suffice for that. So if you'd like to learn more about the Samsung Galaxy Exhibit, guys, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. It's John V. Thanks for watching.